Hi there guys, and welcome. This is going to be a very brief review because it's just going to be a case of going over the salient points. But if you've seen my previous reviews for the ZBV spring bar tool, this one here, which is great for drilled lugs with double pins and has a tweezer type action which allows you to remove and refit very awkward solid end link watches like the Helm Komodo of mine that I demonstrated on, and also the keyring tool, which is a smaller version with a pin, pocketable, and has a guard and can be attached to a keyring for general carrying. This has actually become a regularly used tool, much to my surprise. I didn't see myself needing much use of this, generally speaking, but this actually lives on my bench and has become a very much used tool, so a big thanks to Neil for that one. This one obviously doesn't get used quite as much, but it's a fantastic tool, and for drilled lugs and for refitting solid end links straps, it's absolutely superb. It really is. Well, here in this video today, I'm going to be taking a quick look over a new tool that Neil has sent to me, and there's the details: ZBV spring bar tool and the eBay link and the website, both of which will be in the information below, so check those out please. Inside, as per the previous packaging, we've got bubble wrap. The whole thing was wrapped up. I have unrolled this already once, but we've got the tool bubble wrapped. We have got a bag containing 2 spare pins, very nicely made pins with rounded ends so that they're not sharp and don't damage. An Allen wrench for the fitment of the pins, which are Allen headed domed bolts, and a little business card, which again you can see the information on there. So we'll move the box aside so we can take a look at the tool. Let's just straighten that mat up so it looks a little neater. And it's a very simple version, and much like the keyring tool, it's just a single pin tool but a single bar. And now that I've been sent this one, this is going to become my bench mainstay, whereas this one will get used as intended now and will get used as a keychain handy accessory. The tool itself is made of the same straight bar stock as both of the other tools. Very, very solid and sturdy, comfortable in the hand, rounded corners so there's no sharp edges, and the same all the way around on the ends, and also the radiused end piece. This was from the feedback in my first review. I noticed the end pieces on the original tool weren't radiused, and when I fed back mentioning that some lugs have quite a severe sweep and these can catch on them, so in the following iterations Neil actually added a nice radiused end to this tool, obviously the newer versions of the keyring tool, and he's done exactly the same with this one. You've got a nice radiused smoothed end there so that you will not catch, scratch or damage any case lugs or what have you. And of course, being aluminium, the risk of that is minimized because it's a much softer metal than what's typically used on a case which is stainless steel. But it's good to know if you're working on a case, for example, that's gold or some other precious metal that may not be quite as sturdy as stainless steel. The pin itself, as you could see with the replacements, is an Allen head or a hex head rounded bolt. So again, you're not going to catch yourself, snag that on your finger or hurt yourself on that. Very nicely, well thought out. Very, very sturdy steel pin, and again, rounded end. I mean, I can literally, as you can see there, sort of dig that in and scratch my thumb with it without causing any damage whatsoever. So this is going to prevent you from getting it caught inside your watch spring bar lug holes or anything like that, or scratching or damaging anything. And it's incredibly strong as well. And like the other tool, it's also got the additional use of being able to pop into the side of your phone as a SIM card tray and other such things. So that's essentially the tool in question. As I say, it's very nicely made, just like both of the other tools, really solidly nicely made. It's a nice little addition to them. You've got a comfortable to hold handle. You wouldn't initially think so with it being a square stock, but with the rounded edges, it gives you a good positive grip. It's an ideal length for holding in the hand, giving you enough of the tool free to actually operate and still have a firm grip on. And with that you get, of course, the replacement pins, 2 replacement pins, and an Allen wrench should you need to replace those. So big thank you to Neil, and as I say, this was only a short one, but a huge thank you to Neil for sending this for a review. And I said that I would take a look at it and I'd upload a little review for him. But as you can see, it is very, very nicely made, just like the other tools. That's an overview of the tool. It's relatively straightforward in construction, but it's beautifully made, comfortable to hold, nicely radiused edges so you're not going to catch or scratch or cut yourself or anything. You're not going to scratch anything on your watch because you've got a really sturdy stainless steel, I believe, pin with a nice rounded edge, so you would really have to try hard to scratch or damage something with that. And it's just a nice, solid, simple tool, and a very handy one to have around on the bench. As I say, this will now become my bench mainstay instead of the keyring tool, which, as you can see from the tarnish on there, has actually had quite a bit of handling and use. So thank you very much again to Neil for this. The information to contact Neil and to have a look at the website and his eBay listings you can find directly below this video. I've decided to upload this with a little addition because I uploaded the last one. I've actually had a couple of people message me and say it would be useful if you showed us what the tool was used for. Now, I just assumed, of course, that most people watching this would have seen my previous reviews, and obviously realised now that's not necessarily the case. So this particular pin tool, as I say, this was the original one, the twin one, which acts like a pair of tweezers, and it's for drilled spring bar lugs, like these that you see here and these that you see here, and especially on this one, the helm. So I'll just show you with this one that the end links are solid stainless steel, and they're an incredibly tight tolerance fit. And when this watch came, it came with the G10 strap fitted, and the stainless strap was in the case. Now, I have a preference for stainless bracelets personally, and wanted to fit that. And let me tell you, it fits beautifully. I mean, there's literally no play, no movement, no rattle, nothing on this. I mean, this is a solid tank of a watch. I love this thing. But getting this in place and removing them is a nightmare with a single pin tool. Now, a single pin tool will typically look a little like something like this one here, and you'll have a forked end, which is for removing spring bars, and a pointy end, which is for drilled lugs and for pins on your bracelet and the like. And the problem with really well fitting ones is you push that in like so, and then you've got to try and hold the lug out and retain a bit of tension on it while you push the other one in to release it. That's all fine and good if there is a little bit of play in the end links. If there isn't, you're cursing and swearing in no time at all. And that's where this particular tool comes in very, very handy, because it allows you to locate both ends in simultaneously, and then allows you to press and release the bracelet. And I'm not going to go ahead and do that on this particular bit of video, because I show you that on my review of the original ZBV spring bar tool. But that allows you to easily release the bracelet. It also aids in refitting, because you can use the flat edges like so to compress the spring bars as you slide it into place, and that just makes refitting so much easier, because it's so easy with solid link ends on your bracelet to get that misaligned as you're going in, and then spring bar pops out. It can be a real fiddle, and those who've tried to do it will know what I mean. Now the keyring tool, this one here with its keeper cover, and this one which was the subject of this particular review, which is an extended handle length one, something I did mention, or for something I did fail to mention actually, and will also be handy for this, was the pin length has been extended on the new tool. As you can see, it's a slightly longer pin, which is very useful for telephone SIM card trays and the like. You can of course buy the extended length pins and replace them accordingly, and a little more difficult to see there, but it is a longer pin. There you go, it's a bit more obvious there. So the longer pin is ideal for some deeply recessed telephone SIM card trays, and all modern ones tend to be sealed units with a little hole on the side of the case, which is on my particular one, it's down here, and that allows you to, it fits in nicely in there, again rounded end so you're not going to scratch your case or do any damage, and it allows you to press that and pop your SIM card tray out. So it's very handy for that. And for those of you who are really old school and have sort of CD and DVD ROM drives that you use regularly on your computers, you can also use it to pop your CD and DVD ROM trays out when there's no power. For example, if there's a power cut, you need to get the disc out of there, pop that into the little hole on the front, and away you go. So that's essentially what this is. It is a spring bar tool for drilled lugs, and also a tool for pin link bracelets. So this particular one is a screwed bracelet, but where you'd have a typical pin link one, I'm just wondering if I have one to hand. Here for demonstration purposes, I've got my 6139, and this is an aftermarket bracelet, but it's your typical pin adjusted bracelet. And if you look at the ends, it'll probably be difficult to see on here, but you'll have one end that looks kind of like a screw head with a very thin slot, and one end that looks solid. That's actually a split pin. And again, typically you might use a tool like the spring bar tool, and these can be a little bit fiddly because you have to kind of hold them like so, because if you do this and slip, you're just going to jab that straight into your hand, and that hurts, believe me. So again, a tool like this is quite handy because it allows you to locate the pin in the slot and apply pressure without any risk of hurting yourself. So it's really, really handy for bracelet adjustments. And you can see there, the pin pops out. You can then draw that out. It's literally a little split pin. And you'd then make your adjustments, refit your pin, and you could then use the side of the tool to push that back in flush, and if you need to push that in a little bit further just to seat it inside the bracelet, you can do so with the pin. And push that a little bit too far, so we'll just even that out on this side. But it's a great little tool, and when I mentioned that this one was a mainstay on my bench, this is the kind of thing I use it for popping bracelets on and off, for adjusting links in stainless bracelets, for popping out the pins on the clasp. So quite literally everything I've been doing with this one I will be able to do with the other one, and I can actually attach this one to my keyring now, which will become incredibly useful. And for what seems such a simple tool, it's one of those things that you find yourself using a lot. And one of the other things that I use it a lot for, or I have started using it a lot for rather, like many people who mess about with watches, I have a terrible habit of pressing components inside, such as the setting lever release for your stem, I have a terrible habit of pressing them with the point of my tweezers to draw the crown out. Now this is all well and good, but it means that you're deforming, bending and blunting the end of your tweezers continuously, and it means you have to dress them more frequently than you normally would. Again, this particular tool is ideal for that because it allows you to operate it in such a way that your hands out of the way, you can see where you're going without having to sort of peek around your tweezers, and you can press down, hold it, and again you've got this hard stainless pin, and with you holding it like this you can apply pressure quite evenly and steadily, and it just makes the job easier. And I've started using, well, not this particular one, but the keyring one, which I will be replacing with this one. I've started using this for that purpose. So it has quite a few uses, despite the fact that it is just a spring bar tool, as it were. It is in fact a little bit more useful than that. It does have more uses than just a spring bar tool for drilled lugs, because as you probably know yourself, drilled lugs are not as common as they once were. Some watches do still have them. I think they look really nice. I like them. I'm a big fan of them personally. I've got a few watches with them. But it will work as a bracelet adjustment tool. It will pop your SIM card tray out of your phone, which is where the keyring one is really handy if you need to pop your SIM card or your SD card out of the tray. My phone, for example, carries the SIM card and the SD card in that little slotted tray. And it allows you to pop open the clasps on bracelets. It allows you to access the setting lever to pop your stem out so you can remove a movement from the watch. Very useful tool. So hopefully this little extra bit has answered the question that a couple of people did ask, saying it would have been nice if you'd have shown us the tool in operation or what it's used for. One of my viewers, who's not a particularly focused watch person, who's more on the model side of things, because I've obviously, as you know, I build model kits if you've looked through my channel, had said it was interesting, but I didn't know what the tool was for. So, and I've had a couple of people saying, yeah, it would have been interesting, it would have been useful if you'd shown us what it was used for, how it was used, etc. So there you go. So hopefully that's made that a little bit clearer. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.